Hi, welcome back to another episode of English for Communication 2. I'm still Stephen Judge, and today we're going to begin Unit 10, Alternate Reality. Our first lesson is a grammar lesson on third conditionals. Now, third conditionals describe an alternative past as a result of a different action or outcome that could have been done in the past. So let's do an example. So let's say in reality, I studied a little, so I didn't pass the exam. I'm sure this is not true for you, but let's use this as a beginning. So did I pass the exam? No. Did I study enough? No. Now, using a third conditional, we're going to express a different reality that could have been. So if I had studied more, I would have passed the exam. So we have our alternate reality or alternate past, I would have passed the exam. And we have a different action or a different outcome that could have been taken. So if I did a different action, if I studied more, I would have passed the exam. So that's the basic meaning about third conditionals. Kind of looking at the past, thinking of how it could have been different, and how the present or future could change because of it. So let's look at the structure. So the sentence that we have is, if I had studied more, I would have passed the exam. So we have if clause again. The past perfect, so we had studied. So verb 2, so we have had, and then past participle. Would have, and then past participle, so our verb 3, past. Now past is verb 2 and verb 3, but yeah, we use the verb 3 for our third condition. Now, or if you put if in the middle, there's no comma. So here, remember, there's a comma. So if we switch, we have would have, past participle, if, and past perfect. So I would have passed the exam if I had studied more. So we have would have, verb 3, the past participle, and our past perfect in the if clause. Pretty simple and straightforward. Now, using negative in third conditionals, you can do either side negative. So our first one, if I hadn't studied more, I would have failed the exam. So to give it a little more understanding, did I study more? Yes, I did. So we often use the opposite of what's said in the clauses. So if it's a negative, it means that action did happen. Okay? So if I hadn't studied, and then I would have failed the exam. Did I fail the exam? No, I passed the exam. So we do the opposite. The actual reality is whatever's expressed in the conditional. So here we have emphasis on the action. So I studied more, and it makes the fact that I studied more in the past showing that it had an important effect in the past. The fact that I studied more helped me pass the exam. It was important to me passing the exam. Now you can do negative on both sides. So if I hadn't studied more, I wouldn't have passed the exam. So did I study more? Yes. So similar to the first example, I wouldn't have passed. So did I pass the exam? Yes, I did. So we have negative, and the answer is yes. So again, the opposite is implied to be true. So we use hadn't as in past perfect, and then when we make negative, we use wouldn't, and we still use verb 3, have, and verb 3. And you can do where you just use the negative If I went with you, I wouldn't have met her at the coffee shop. So we have, did I go with you? No, I went to a coffee shop. So again, the opposite is implied. Did I meet her at a coffee shop? Yes, I did. So you can use negative. So this one actually stresses that something important may not have happened if I had done a different action. Now, there are some options when it comes to third conditional, and that's using different verbs with would, could, and might. So they use the same. We still use have and verb 3, but we are only expressing our confidence at the different result. So when we say would have, we're pretty confident that the situation would be different. When we use could have, we were confident but less than would. So I'd say about 70%. And when we use might, it's just indicating a small possible that a different result might have happened. So we're 50% or less. So this is the weaker of them, where you're just saying, oh, an action may or may not have happened. So you're less confident when you use that. So let's put this all into practice. Here we have 4 reality situations. Let's change them. Let's change the reality. So our reality, I saved money for many years and bought a house. So alternate reality, if I didn't save money for years, I wouldn't have bought a house. Number 2, I lived abroad and now I learned to speak English well. I wouldn't have learned to speak English well if I didn't live abroad. Number 3, I didn't call the girl and now she's dating my friend. She wouldn't be dating my friend if I had called her first. And number 4, I didn't ask for help and now I don't understand what to do. If I asked for help, I would understand what to do. Well, that's it for third conditionals. Again, my name's Stephen Judge, and see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.